welcome back. It's Christine again with the Artist Pod, and today we'll be talking about how to draw a beak, a bird beak specifically from a red-headed woodpecker. So let's get arting. So their beaks are two-toned. There's white closer to their faces and it turns gray at the tips. So I'm going to have to feather this out as they connect together. Now the feathers are coming over top the beak typically, and so I also will not make it as bright closer to where it's connecting in, just like it sort of goes into shadow here with the feathers as well. Like, you know, I've got to feather that out and make that lighter because there'd be a shadow cast by the feathers covering the beak in that spot. For now, I'm just sort of lightly filling in the beak so that I can kind of decide where I think the highlights would be on it. Now, usually on a beak, you're going to have a nose, but when I look at the pictures I have on Google up, I actually think it's right here. But usually, or sometimes in the beak, you'll actually see it out in its placement, and with them, I couldn't see it as easily on a lot of pictures, but I think from what I can tell, it's in this sort of area. Often when I'm designing, I'll either have pictures up in Photoshop so I can switch, you know, I can just click over and switch, or I'll have it up on Google. And so right now I have it up on Google in case something comes up and I'm not sure exactly how it looks. Which I know I've mentioned in other videos, but the quickest way to find out you have no idea what anything looks like is to try and draw it, because there's so many little details. You know, you don't realize that you don't know it until you're drawing it and have to check things. And it can be simple things: direction of the feathers, the coloration of the beak, where the you know, feathers change over from one color to another, how long fur is in you know, different animals, things like that. Because this style is such a detailed oriented style, I have to get the little details right. Now as the beak comes underneath, it's obviously going to go back into shadow, but the way you indicate where the beak splits is through shadows and highlights, and so I had to make sure that was clear, and I need to make the bottom sort of mouth of the beak bright enough that you can see the clear dip in shadows and highlights between the top and the bottom. There would also be a section right where the bottom kicks in, and you can kind of see that I've done it, where it's a little bit brighter as it's not fully rounded underneath. You know, it's still kind of rounded up towards the light source, and it slowly rounds down in a way. So the entire bottom beak won't be in shadow, but it rounds away pretty quickly. But it is just the shadows and highlights that show where the beak transitions from the top of the beak to the bottom of the beak and exactly where their mouth is. So when you pull back, you can clearly see the line. All right, so that is how you draw a beak. I hope that was helpful. In the floating nether next to me, I have some videos of art tutorials I have done, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Take care.